Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Underdog Lord, this is Underdog Views, and I watch Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. But this one was fun. Might be the best one so far, and obviously, not obviously, but of course, I like the last two the most. Just like with Rambo, I like the last one the most. Let's just start with this move, shall we? We're underwater in the Bering Sea, and we see ice under us. Then the camera turns because we see the ice move, and now it's above us. We're slowly moving forward in the water, and we see something dark, a dark spot, but it's coming closer. It's around. It's a submarine. It's nose of a submarine. Now we see a hand, and it has a kind of a key. And we see the other hand, and it has the same kind of key, but kind of different. And now they slide it into each other, and it combines like a cross screwdriver, like a cross key. All right, and suddenly, red dot starts to flash. What the fuck is going on? But we're gonna leave it at that, because if you want to know what's coming next, watch the movie yourself. I have one problem with this franchise. And no, it's not Tom Cruise running. It's that they basically give away the story in the opening credits. Well, I can't remember if the other ones did it, but this one definitely did it. In the opening credits, they just show shots of later on in the movie. Like, why are you giving away the movie in the beginning of the movie? In the credits of the movie, why do you give shots of later on scenes from this movie? Why? I don't like that. You basically spoil. You give us spoilers from the movie in the opening credits. Those scenes still have to come. The full scenes of them. It's like giving us the trailer in the opening credits. Why the fuck are you doing that? It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't like that. I really don't like that. There was also a scene in here where they were stumbling down a pair of stairs in Rome in a tiny Fiat 500, and I have never seen a Fiat 500 like that. I've seen Fiat 500s here in the Netherlands. And this movie is from 2 years ago. Sorry, 3 years ago. 2023. So maybe it's an older version, maybe it's an Italian version, because obviously the Fiats are all coming from Italy. It's an Italian brand, but this one was tiny, tiny. Almost like a clown's car, tiny. And they were stumbling down a pair of stairs in that car, and suddenly Tom Cruise and Ethan and Grace they changed seats, because Ethan was behind the wheel at first, and now Grace was behind the wheel. Like, what the fuck happened? Which was kind of impressive. There was a big chase in Rome, with first the car, then the mini Fiat. Big chase, very cool. the later on in the movie, the bad guy, Gabriel, he blew up the bridge, and he did everything, to make the train just a runaway train, so he took out the brakes, and he made it go faster, and then took that thing out so you can't slow it down anymore, and then he blew up the bridge, and then he got off the train. But anyway, Ethan and Grace, kind of decoupled the compound, the wagon, just made them loose, whatever you want to call it, anyway. And we saw the train, the front of the train just fall down the bridge, which was also a very nice shot how they filmed that. I really liked that. Then they had to go back. First they went on top of the train, then they had to go through the wagons, and of course they had to go. The first wagon was obviously the worst wagon because, well, one of the worst wagons because it was the kitchen. We had a fryer in the kitchen, so there was oil, grease. There was grease everywhere. There was obviously a stove in the kitchen, so there was gas and fire while the wagon was going down the bridge, But the wagons after weren't that great either, because one of them was, or the last one was the bar. So every table and all flew out, and there was a piano there. Well, it's called a wing, like those not just a normal piano, but just those beautiful special pianos that you have on stage, like at concerts, like that Elton John will play, at this concert, something like that. That was falling down, so great, because the whole wagon was now vertical. Before I forget, one of the funniest parts of this movie was how Ethan got on the train, because he wasn't on the train when it left. He had to jump off a cliff. And that was not the funny part, but he went with a parachute, and we were inside, probably inside the diner, and the dining wagon, and Grace was there, and there were some guys that were chasing her or something like that, or want the key, and then the guy had the key or something like that. Zola had the key, I think. Who was one of the bad guys, part of the bad guys. Anyway, and suddenly, out of nowhere, bam, through the wall, even flew through the wall of the wagon and crashed into the train, hitting Zola. It was so unexpected, and that made me laugh out loud. It was so unexpected. It was so fucking funny. That was definitely funny. This was definitely a very good movie. So I think I'll give it a high 4, low 5. Go watch the movie yourself. Leave a like, recommend a good Tom Cruise movie down below in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel. Check out my second channel, Underdog Eats, where I do food streams every week from time to time. Also, snark or my third channel, Underdog Reacts, where I do primarily music. Link down below in the description. And see you guys next time. Tomorrow, because tomorrow you're gonna get Mission Impossible number 8, probably part 2, and Rocky, because we're gonna start with the Rocky franchise. On Saturday you're gonna get Iron Lung, because I want to watch it today, but due to the timing, I would have been done at 10:30. And yeah, that was a bit too late for me. It's now 10 o'clock exactly, so I would have been done in half an hour. And no, I'm not gonna watch a movie until 10:30. It's a bit too late. Usually I stop half an hour ago. 9:30. That's already too late actually, but I'm not gonna do 10:30. No, that's just too late. That's too late. So you're gonna get on Saturday Iron Lung instead of The Machine from Bert Kreischer, which I really want to watch still, which is also still coming, but just a bit later. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that and see you guys next time. Bye.